The Tenere is named after the most difficult part of the Dakar rally. But how reliable is this blue machine from the 80s? We will tell you all about it in this second episode of Red Carpet Reviews.
Reliability is a very important part, so we will check in technical failures, maintenance, and how easy is it to get parts. The technical failures of this bike, unfortunately, were a bit higher than with other Teneres. They had some problems in the cylinder head. The problems came from multiple things. First of all, the original front fender was very low at the front and low at the back, and they didn't have holes in it originally, which blocked the airway of cooling the head. Second, having the tank hanging lower over the frame, it also blocked the airway of cooling the engine. The cylinder head itself wasn't engineered as well as the newer models and had some problems in lubricating and cooling the head, causing to wear out cam chains and cylinders and other parts. In the beginning, a lot of people came back with the bike having engine problems. So it was airway cooling, it was the engine head itself, and it's also the air filter. The air filter having the two inlet hoses sucking up fresh air right above the engine. So it sucks up warm air above the engine. So it all causes overheating, wearing out, and failure of lubrication. Still, you can shortcut all these problems and have an amazing bike. We will talk about that in the modification chapter. Apart from the cooling and engine problems, it had the tendency to wear out the fifth gear. Does it make a chorus sound? You know it's done. And the gearbox is an expensive repair. And for the rest, it was actually a very nice, reliable bike, which is ready for the desert. So, because of these engine problems, nowadays, if you buy a 1VJ, very often you see it having a newer engine or a newer model cylinder. The good thing about this engine was the combination of electric start and kickstart. So even if your battery runs out, you can still kickstart it. But if you want, you can just press the button and go. For me, very annoying is the fuel pump. It's a mechanical vacuum fuel pump, sucking a vacuum from the rubber inlet from the engine. And if it's cold and it didn't run for a couple of weeks, it takes a very long time to have the fuel pump working correctly. So you really have to start it through and through and through and through, which can be a pain. For this pump, there's also ways to shortcut it, so keep on watching. So let's talk maintenance. The Tenere is an amazing bike for the hobbyist because you can easily reach all parts. On the way here, my clutch cable broke, and within 15 minutes we had it fixed. Checking the oil, you have to be under the seat. The tank is here. The seat comes off very easily to reach the air filter or the battery. The spark plug is a bit annoying because it's just behind the frame tube, so it's a bit difficult to reach. But for the rest, it's a very easy bike to work on. Some people have some critics about the carburetors because it has one big carburetor and one smaller one for the high revs, making it a bit of a bitch to tune it after you've taken it all apart. This bike really loves it if you give her the time to warm up before revving it full or higher than 3500 revs. If you change oil or want to check your oil level, don't do it on a cold engine. You have to drive it for 20 kilometers to They give the engine the time to pump the oil back to the oil tank. I didn't know it either, so thanks Motorits for this tip. I use 10W40 for my bike from Castrol, but there's always other options. Also, the engine came with a pretty small oil pump, making it difficult for the engine to pump up oil to the head or to the tank. Later on they changed the pump to a newer model like I did, which solved the problem. There's a lot of parts to get for this bike. Companies like Kato, CMSNL, but also specialist organizations like Hepco and Becker, Anima Motorcycles and Motorits. They have a lot of parts for this bike. Having so many parts available makes it very easy to work on the bike, ride on the bike and change it to your preferences.
Thanks for watching this episode of Red Carpet Reviews by the Kickback company. And we promise you there's a hell lot more where that came from. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Instagram and check out our web shop for our Kickback adventure apparel. Now, always be aware of the present adventure, hold on tight and enjoy that ride.